Astrology, and I'm very happy to be here with you guys today. I'm going to be talking about today's weekly weather, and this is going to be for the astrological period of April 14th through April 21st. Now, I didn't post that I was going live because I'm trying something new. I'm trying this new streaming service, so I wanted to see how it would turn out. It looks like it's okay. It looks like I'm streaming, maybe buffering a little. Let's see if I'm getting any comments or anyone joining. I'm trying to manage it through my phone and see if that works better. So I'm not seeing any comments. It says that I'm live. I don't see you guys. Let's see, maybe that works. Because I'm attempting to stream right now on both my YouTube page, my group, and on IG. Okay, it looks like I might be live right now. Let's see, it's buffering. It's trying to do it. There we go. Yay! Success! Hi. This is AstroKrys from CodaQueenAstrology, and I am trying a new platform. I'm using Restream to, hi Jay, to broadcast on IG and to also broadcast on my private Facebook group and on my YouTube channel. So I didn't announce today that I would be going on live. I wanted to test this platform and see how, smooth everything kind of ran, if it was glitchy or not. So I'm gonna try it out. I hope everyone's doing awesome. How is everyone doing? Let me see some comments. Hi. Great. I'm gonna have my phone on the side too, just to make sure I kind of monitor how everything is running. Hello. Okay, so, ah, hello, Ise. I haven't seen you in a while. Well, thank you guys for being here. So today I'm going to be talking about the weekly weather. And as you can see right there, I outlined the dates that we're going to be talking in regard to. So I'm very excited. Today is actually one of the luckiest days of the year. And the reason being is because we have the sun in Aries and we have the moon in Taurus, but she's being born in the sign of Taurus right now. So we had a new moon in Aries on the 11th. And as of now, so today, if you go outside and you check her out, most likely if you're in the East Coast, it's dark already. So you can go out and check out the moon and see how she's looking, how bright she is. And the moon is exalted in the sign of Taurus. So this is why this is considered one of the luckiest days of the year, because of the fact that the sun is in Aries and the sun is exalted in that sign, and also the moon is in Taurus and the moon is exalted in that sign. So today is make a wish day. So whatever it is that you want to manifest in your life, this is a time that you want to do that, and make sure that you go outside and you communicate this with the moon, because the moon's going to be helping you. So it looks like everything's running smoothly. I am, like I mentioned earlier, I'm using this Restream software. I hope you guys can hear me and everything like that. So I'm trying something new today. So, yeah, make sure that you're doing your ritual today. Make sure you go outside and you connect with that moon. Eventually, Venus is going to be visible in the sky too. She's going to be born as an evening star, but that's not until a few weeks. But from this point on, for about a few months until she meets up with the sun again, she's going to be very, very bright in the sky. And sometimes we'll see her next to the moon. And there's a lot of countries that actually have the moon and Venus in their flag because they feel like, that's a very auspicious symbol and sign. Thank you. Thank you for letting me know. This sounds good. So we're going to be able to see that beauty again, both the moon and Venus together in the sky. Most likely by May, when the moon is in the sign of Taurus, you'll see Venus really bright next to the moon. So I'm happy for that. Venus being born as a morning star in her sign that she rules, which is Taurus. That's one of the signs that she rules, is very auspicious because that helps with material, helps with love, helps with relationships, with abundance and our self-worth and values. I hope that I'm not glitching too much because on my end it looks like it's kind of glitching a little. So I hope you guys can hear me. Let me know in the comments if it gets a little crazy. So I'm testing this out. I want to see how good the stream is. Maybe I'll continue using it, but if it's not so great, then I'm not going to use it. Thank you. So yeah, let's look at the moon and what the moon's doing this week. So this week, and these are for the dates of April 14th through April the 21st, the moon is going to start in the sign of Taurus. So as of now, it's in the sign of Taurus and it's going to shortly shift into the sign of Gemini. And then we end on the 21st with the moon entering Virgo. But I'm not going to cover Virgo because that's something I'll cover next week. So as of this week, the moon is very active. First, it's making a lot of good aspects in the sign of Taurus. It's making some aspects that are a little bit more tense, but the last aspect is a trine to Pluto, which is helping with the square that we're getting from the sun and also from Mercury, which the sun squaring Pluto is very intense. It could cause arguments, disagreements, and we also have Mercury squaring Pluto. And equally, Mercury squaring Pluto can cause a lot of arguments too. So this is actually active on the 16th and the 17th. So the sun's going to square Pluto first, and Mercury's going to square Pluto shortly after. So it can make people a little bit more irritated, and it also could deplete your vitality a little bit. So just make sure you get plenty of rest because the sun is our energy and our vitality. And you're just going to feel like there's a lot of work responsibilities and things going on. And then dealing with, if you have to deal with people, difficult people, because Pluto and Mercury aspecting can cause difficulty in communication. And you'll end up having a lot of interactions with difficult people. Now, Venus just finished her square with Pluto. So that's also was intense. And we're still feeling it. But, Venus is all about love. And now she's being born in the sign of Taurus. She actually entered Taurus today. So she was able to kind of shake that square pretty quick because she didn't remain in the sign of Aries for too long until she went into the sign of Taurus. And now she is exalted. The same thing's going to happen with the Sun and Mercury because they're going to end up leaving the sign quicker. The square is not happening in early degrees Aries. It's actually happening in later degrees. So that's to our benefit. So those are some things that you just kind of want to be mindful of. But overall, this week is a little bit more intense and internalized. It's relaxed. But the intensity is coming from the shift of cardinal fire to fixed earth. So we've been fired up with new beginnings and being creative and communicative and speaking our mind and just kind of like not filtering ourselves, having no filter. Well, when the planets go into the sign of Taurus, they stabilize. This is mid-spring. This is when they start kind of blooming and coming into fruition. Like not immediately, but throughout this month, we're gonna see that things are growing steadily and giving benefits to us. So we're going to slow down a little bit, which is actually good for Venus because Venus doesn't really enjoy the sign of Aries. In the sign of Aries, she's more active, maybe a little bit more competitive and argumentative. And that's not the style that Venus has. Venus likes to be sensual and lusty. And that's what she's going to get to do in the sign of Taurus. She's also going to be making a couple cool aspects. She conjuncts the Pleiades, which is a constellation. These were sisters, and they have magical powers. They're connected to occult magic and things like that. They're very, very powerful energy. And Venus is also going to conjunct Uranus, which Venus conjunct Uranus can make us either fall in and out of love quickly. So you might meet someone that you're very interested in, and things can pick up really quickly, or you just kind of lose interest in someone really quickly. Maybe you're like, whoa, I don't know what I saw in this person. We're not compatible. So I like the energy of Venus in Aquarius. Not Aquarius, I'm sorry, Venus and Uranus conjunct, because it can bring a lot of excitement into people's life and um, unexpected things. So it's a good, I think for me, it's a good combination, especially being an astrologer. Uranus rules me. So I think that's why I enjoy it the most. So watch wherever you have the house in your chart, your natal chart, where Taurus is at that house, because Venus transiting that house is going to, sorry, I keep on focusing to make sure that everything is running smoothly. And I just saw like a little warning on here. Let's check here. Okay. And their energy right now is everywhere. Oh yeah. Well, Taurus energy is everywhere because of the fact that most of the energy was in Aries, and that wasn't really assisting them because it's the 12th house. So for them, a Taurus rising, Aries energy is the 12th house. So it's a house of relaxing and undoing. They'll feel a little bit scattered. So they were feeling a little bit scattered. But now that the sun is going into the sign of Taurus, that's going to go away. They're going to start shining. This is their energy. They're probably going to get way more energy to be more productive, to kind of get things done. And Venus there is going to assist them. So they're going to have the sun there. They're going to have Mercury and Venus there. And they're actually going to trine Pluto in Capricorn. And Pluto is getting along with all the earth signs. So Pluto in Capricorn is very powerful. It's kind of like growing in and stepping into your power. So that's probably going to regulate itself a little more for the Taurus people, and also the earth sign people, because Taurus will end up trining Virgo. So if you're a Virgo, you're a Capricorn, or a Taurus, you're probably going to feel much, much better when that sun and Mercury and Venus go into their sign, that sign of Taurus, because of that, because it grounds you and it's going to be sending supportive energy. Now, the sign that's going to feel this a little bit more intense would be Scorpio. Scorpio is going to feel a little bit more intense because Taurus opposes Scorpio. So if you're a Scorpio sun, rising, or moon, then there's going to be some issues that kind of arise. So like that, you can kind of solve things like that. Okay, I'm still monitoring the chat. Thank you guys. I'll see if there's more comments. Thank you. Okay, cool. So I like the fact that Venus is entering Taurus because we're able to manifest more things. And now with the manifesting ritual that you have to either do today or tomorrow, try to do it before the moon enters the sign of Cancer. So let me give you guys those dates. The moon is going to be in the sign of Taurus today, and it shifts today to Gemini. And then from April 14th through April 17th, around the middle of the day, it stays in Gemini, but then it's on the 17th, it switches to Cancer. So you have until the 17th to make a ritual. You want to do it before, because when it reaches the sign of Cancer, that means the moon is going to square where it was born in the sign of Aries. And that's not supportive. That's a little bit more going against the grain. So it's not free flowing energy. That's why a sextile is something that we can use to manifest things, because it's supportive flowing energy. And that's going to happen between the sign of Gemini and Taurus. It's about to end already. So do you have until the 17th. So until the 17th to do that ritual. The sooner, the better. If you can do it tonight, because the moon is in Taurus, and that's more recommended. And that could be any ritual. You can Google something like abundance ritual, or call in my partner, or manifest a house, or manifest a new job, anything like that. But you really have to believe in what you're manifesting, and you'll have a lot of tangible benefits from the manifesting, because today is the luckiest day of the year. There's going to be a few other ones, but this is it. This is the luckiest day. It's actually a repeated aspect that happens on a yearly basis, but it doesn't always happen on the same day. So if today is your solar return, guess what? You're lucky, because in your solar return, for the rest of the year, you captured this energy where the sun is in Aries and the moon ended up being in the sign of Taurus, and they're both exalted, in addition to having Venus in the sign of Taurus, which is really, really good. Now, can I know if anyone's birthday is today? Okay, so I have K-Fit that says, I haven't had time for a new moon ritual, but I'm doing it tomorrow, hoping it's still effective. Yes, it is. If you do it tomorrow, you'll be good. You have until the 17th. Okay. Yeah, just let me know if anyone here, their birthday is April the 14th today, because you'll have a really good solar return. This year is going to be really good for you. Okay, so as from April 17th, the moon goes into the sign of Cancer, and the moon also rules that sign, but it's actually going to be the first quarter moon, so it's going to be a tenseful aspect instead of more harmonious. And then it stays there until the 20th, and then from the 20th, it goes into the sign of Leo, and it stays there till roughly the 22nd. So I won't talk about that sign, because we'll do the next week. We'll talk about the next aspects for next week then. So I'm very excited about all the nice harmonious energy we have. But internally, we are seeing some shifts, because we're coming down from the fire of new beginnings, which is all the sign of Aries. It's the first zodiac sign of the constellations. So we end up starting new things, new beginnings, like fresh. But now, whatever we set in motion when we were working with the Aries energy, we're going to see some results with Taurus, because Taurus kind of carries the baton through the season of spring. And that's when we see the flowers bloom. That's when we see more like fruits and, everything kind of blossoming. So very fixed energy. And we'll see the shift whenever we're shifting that way. We tend to kind of halt. Just imagine what happens when we have a fire and we throw dirt on it, because the element of Taurus is earth. So it's dirt. Right? Dirt can put out a fire. Now, when you throw dirt, it's the fire starts kind of dimming down, things like that. So that take that little visual, and that's kind of what's happening now. We have a big, huge fire, feeling all this creative energy and like kind of just wanting to be out there, like and then we put some dirt on it, and then now it's like our fire starts calming down. So that's what's happening with the energy shift. And we're going to see the sun enter the sign of Taurus. Hold on, I wrote it down here. Sun enters Taurus April the 19th. And moon enters Taurus today. Mercury enters Taurus the same day on April 19th, and I think it's a few hours after the sun. And then from there, next week, we have Mars entering Cancer. So Mars right now is in Gemini. And when he was in Gemini, he was actually supporting the sun in Aries. Now, with Mercury entering the sign of Taurus, Mars is a little bit all over the place again, because when Mars was in Aries, I'm sorry, when Mercury was in Aries, Mars was in mutual reception, meaning they're in each other's zodiac signs, so they were supporting each other. So we're gonna feel a little bit chaos where that Mars is at, but it's gonna shift when we go to Cancer, which is gonna be more internalized energy. So that is what I wanted to talk about in regard to the astrology this week. Ooh, no, never mind. Let's take that back. I have one more aspect. Oh, no, I think I covered it. Yeah, but I'll repeat it since I brought it up. We want to be careful with the things that we say, and how we interact to people that make us upset, because the sun is squaring Pluto, and that causes disagreements. Hi, Jet. That causes disagreements, and that causes um also it causes us to also respond in not so great ways. So we want to make sure that we are being respectful. We want to make sure that um we're not taking things too personal, because it's a power struggle. Both of these planets together or in aspect in people's chart, they tend to have a lot of internal power. So just imagine how this aspect affects the collective. We have the sun and Pluto squaring each other, which is kind of like sending like an energy like this where they're kind of fighting. So just make sure that you are mindful of what you say. And we do have Mercury doing the same thing, and Mercury rules our communication. So we're going to feel a little burnt out with the people that are acting like that towards us. But it will pass as soon as the sun enters the sign of Taurus, which is on the 19th, and Mercury enters the sign of Taurus, which is on the 19th. Then we're going to see a relief. And when the sun in Taurus and Mercury in Taurus transit that sign, they're eventually trining Pluto, so it's supportive. So that is what I wanted to talk about. Now I can answer some questions. If anyone has questions in the audience, I'll, chit chat with you guys. I'm very excited this week. So tomorrow I'm going to be hosting my Astrology 301 course, which is all about relationships and synastries. And I also launched a mentorship group. So I was getting a lot of messages in regard to mentorship, and I put it together. So I'm excited about that. So those are two of my new projects that I have. I'm super excited. Let me see. So I am a Gemini and I'm dealing with a Taurus, and yes, there's disagreements. Ooh, you're also having Mars aspect your sun. Most likely you're a Gemini sun, right? So yeah, you have to make sure that you are protecting your energy, and make sure you step back. That's what I would do until Mars leaves the sign of Cancer, and that's going to be on the 23rd. Then you're going to start feeling a little bit better, because I think right now you're probably feeling a little bit more reactive. Yeah. Okay, yeah, cool. I'll give you guys a ritual for today. So what I did, something similar, but I'll just give you guys a simple ritual. Can you let me know what type of ritual you want? Like, do you want something for money? Do you want something for love? Because I have two of them that I can give you two suggestions. I'm ignoring all of it being yes, ignore it. You don't need to entertain it. You need to ignore it. Eventually he's gonna cool down, or she, and you're gonna feel much better. So just ignore it. Okay. So let's do an abundance ritual. Money. There we go. Ooh, yay, Della, money. Okay. So for money, what I want you to do is get a plate, like a saucer, a small saucer. Um, most like most likely, no, yeah, most likely you don't have a green plate. So try to get a white plate, or try just to get a plate that doesn't have a lot of print, like flowers and like designs on it. Just a plate like that, okay? And then you're gonna pour salt on the plate, like all the bottom. You'll go ahead and spread the salt. And as you're doing this, you're thinking about what it is you want to attract. So if it's money, how are you getting this money? Is this money coming to you by a new job? Is this money coming to you in business sales? Is this money coming to you because you're winning the lotto? Are you getting approved for a loan? Think of how this money is coming to you, okay? Because that's going to help the money get directed to you. So you're putting salt on your plate. You're thinking, okay, you know, that you're enjoying how you're receiving this money, etc., etc. You spread it. You get a lime. So as you're cutting the lime, you're going to cut the lime in four. So like a cross in a way, like just pretend, let's pretend this is the only thing I have near me. um, so when you cut the lime, you're going to cut it this way, and then you're going to cut it this way, and it's going to form four little wedges, okay? So once it does that, you're going to get cloves. So those are like the kitchen cloves, like the spices, cloves. You're getting cloves, and you're going to get 3 cloves. And while you're cutting it in 4, because you're calling all the energy from the north, the south, the east, and the west, which then also co-rule the elements. So you're calling all that in so they could all come and help, all those angels. So if you work with angels, I work with angels, you can call in all your angels, you can call in your ancestors, you could call in your guides, whoever it is that you work with, you can call in God, Mother Mary, whoever it is. So as you're doing that, you're asking, you're cutting your lime, and you're asking, please come and assist me with this petition. I would like X amount of money to come, and I would like this to bless me, bless my family, blah, blah, blah. Make a little prayer, quick. Doesn't have to be too elaborate, but make sure you're always saying please and you're saying thank you. Okay? And once you cut it, you're going to get the cloves, and you're going to put it in 3 of them. You're going to put, no matter, it doesn't matter which wedges, you're going to put a clove in each wedge. There's going to be one that doesn't have it. Okay, that's fine. So you're putting 3, and then you get this lemon that's cut already like this, and you put it on top of your salt. So the plate where the salt is at, you put it on top of there. And if you have honey, hopefully you do. If you don't, get sugar, but honey is better. After that, you're going to pour honey, just kind of sprinkle a little bit, whatever you feel is appropriate. You don't have to put too much, you don't have to put too little. But all these elements, the lime is working with the sun. So that's the vitality of the sun. It's also the color green, which is the energy of Taurus because it's an earth sign. And then we have the spice, which is actually associated with the sun and Mars. We have the salt for protection to make sure it attracts things. And we have, the honey, which is associated with Venus. So it can bring abundance into our life. So it ends up bringing money, abundance, things like that into our life. Then you want to place this either on your northwest corner of your house or your west corner. So the west sector. It's not going to be a corner. So let's draw this out. You're probably going to see this backwards. Okay, it's probably going to show backwards for you. But wherever you have this sector, this west sector, you want to put it there, or you want to put it here in the northeast or here in the northwest. So these places in your home. So this could be, maybe this is your kitchen, put it in the northwest there, or this is your living room, put it there. You can also apply this to your living room. and you leave it there. Okay? You leave it there for 7 days. It should start getting brown, like drying, like fermenting in a way. It shouldn't mold or anything like that. So it'll just dry, because that's what happens to the lemon. It just kind of like starts drying. And since it's an acid, it usually doesn't mold. It just kind of starts like drying out, like all the water in it and everything like that. You want to grab the plate, put it in a bag, and toss it outside. Do not leave it inside of your house. In your house trash, you want to take it all the way out. It usually takes 7 days for it to dry up. So you can do that for abundance. For fertility, fertility, working with honey. So you would have to I don't really have a ritual right now off the top of my head, but I know with honey is good for fertility. So what's coming to mind right now is making yourself a tea with flowers like chamomile or lavender, because Venus is associated with flowers. And you want to also use honey. And when you're stirring your tea, you're imagining that you are fertile. You're imagining that you are a beautiful temple that's able to create. And you're like, you want to make sure that when you're stirring clockwise, because clockwise brings in the energy. If you go counterclockwise, you're releasing, you're saying, no, I don't want this. So make sure you're going, and like as you're stirring the tea, you're saying how you're abundant, how you're happy of being fertile. If you want to even go far as you're touching your belly and you're imagining yourself being pregnant, things like that, go ahead and do that. You also want to bring in your guides, bring in your angels, and ask them to assist you with this petition. Then you drink the whole tea. So if you put intentions on this tea, right, you need to drink it all, like everything. Because whenever we work with tea magic, you want to make sure that you're drinking all the contents that you put the intention on, or you're going to leave some of the intentions behind if you don't drink it. So as you finish stirring, you start drinking it, you just start imagining how this entire tea is coming into your body and helping you be fertile. So that's one of the rituals I would do for fertility. Okay, let me look at the comments. With the plate and salt, you said to take out, we have to get rid of the dish as well. No, you don't have to get rid of the dish. But I try to use a dish that I don't like often use. Like I have my own ritual dish. So this is something that we've been doing in the goddess workshops that we're holding with Devin. So we teach people, I do astro magic. So I prepare talismans. I do a lot of magic connected with the stars and astrology. Not a lot of other people do that. They just kind of do magic in general with the moon. I incorporate all the planets. So I have my toolkit already. I know that this plate I'm using for that. I know that I have a container. So I kind of have a dish set for my magic. That's what I do. I don't really like to use the plates that I make magic in to eat off later, or anyone else to eat off. So just kind of be mindful of that. But because this is not a cleansing, you can still use it. That's why you don't have to throw it away. But I prefer not to at all. Any tool you use for cleansing, you really don't want to eat off. So you don't want to repurpose it that way. But because this is an abundance ritual, it's fine. If you eat off it, it's charged with abundance. So it's not a big deal, versus like a cup that you used, because I hosted a limpia workshop where you cleanse yourself with an egg. When the whole purpose of that limpia is for the egg to pull out all the negative energy. So when you crack it onto the cup with water and salt, the negative energy that you had inside of your aura is now in the egg. But then if you get rid of it, even if you washed it, you put negative energy in that cup, right? So you wouldn't want to drink out of that cup again. So you want to still use it for future cleanses, but not necessarily drink out of it. But because this is an abundance plate, don't worry. It's not a big deal. You don't have to go rush out to Walmart or whatever to go buy a plate. Just keep in mind, if you do want to do rituals like this for the future, because you can do that ritual every single new moon. If you want to do rituals for the future, have yourself a cup, a plate, and a spoon that you say these are your magic tools, because that's going to be your kit. That's your magic. You're setting intentions on those utensils to create magic with you. So you also want to respect them and make sure that they're not being utilized every day, if that makes any sense. Okay, cool. Yay. Okay, let me look at more comments. Okay, so great idea. Thank you for everything. You're welcome. By the way, the manifestation, do we dispose the ashes? Yes. So for the ashes, that because you participated in the limpia ritual, and I gave you guys a few abundance things to do, one for yourself, one for the home, and then we did one in the actual workshop. You always either want to bury them or you want to throw them away in your trash. So those are the two things you can do. You can bury the ashes or you can throw them away out your outside trash. You don't want the ashes inside. So those are the two ways that you can expose it. Or you can toss it far away, like somewhere in your yard. You just toss it where you don't really like stay, because we have to think about it. Ashes kind of turn into dirt in a way, so they're gonna blend in with the earth. So it's not a big deal. You just don't want them in your home because the energy's still there. You're welcome. Okay, let's see. Hi, Vibrant. No, I don't have Patreon because my website supports having a membership. I do have a Patreon set up, but I haven't set it up to take members through it, because my website is it supports it. It has its own community. So I've been using that, but maybe eventually I'll go to Patreon. Can I throw out the window, LOL? If that's what your intuition is asking you, or if you feel good, why not? But just remember, it can fly back out, like back at you. So check the wind. Like with my kids, I used to always, when I didn't want them to be on the Wi-Fi, I'll do this. I don't think there's any Wi-Fi. I don't feel it, because and they'll. So now they're older. They don't fall for that no more. Okay, I heard you can put them in your plants. Yes, you can. You can put the ashes in your plants. You can put it in your yard. I don't really put them in my plants. I like to go either drop them in the yard or just put them in the trash. That's what I do. Makes me feel more comfortable. But that's what my intuition says to do. I'm an advocate of people following their intuition, because that means that their guides are telling them, no, I think for you, you can throw them out the window. So maybe you need to use the air element, right? It's wind. So they want you to have these ashes connected to fire flow in the air. So, hi, Terry. Yes. Okay, let's check to see. We have more comments. Well, it looks like the streaming service is pretty cool. I can see the comments. I can see everyone. Thank you, guys. Yeah, I'm super excited. I got a lot of good feedback from the Limpia. And now everyone that participated in the Limpia can cleanse themselves as often as they like and cleanse their family. I actually got a lot of comments after, like, hey, am I doing this right? And they're checking on their family and things like that. So it was amazing. It was amazing. Yay. Great. So, at bare minimum, if you don't do any type of ritual, any magic ritual that I mentioned, what I want you to do is as soon as that sun is set and you have some time to just kind of sneak out to your front door or to your backyard to go embrace the moon, the goddess moon, go out there with your dominant hand on top of your receiving hand. You put them in your heart like this. Let's see if you guys can see that. Like this, right? And you close your eyes and you just kind of draw in the energy of the moon. And you ask only positive energy in, and anything that no longer serves you, out. And that's it. So what you're doing is you're just resetting your body and your body rhythms, and you're kind of charging your energy with that moon. So not necessarily setting intentions for abundance, but setting intentions to feel good, to feel balanced, which sometimes it's way better than any other type of ritual, right? Our health is best. Okay. Do you post that? Was it a thing? This will be saved on your IG page. Actually, Jam and Jelly, I don't know. Because I'm using this new, oh no, the Limpia, it was something I sold. So it was a workshop that I did, and I did post it. I posted it on my page, and a few people, we had a pretty big group, they signed up. So I haven't scheduled another Limpia. Now I have it recorded. If you want to purchase it, you can still do it. There's a few people that couldn't be on the live, and they watched it later because I give you the entire process in the recording. But then after the process, I looked at people's egg. So if you purchase afterward, I can always look at your egg after. When you do the entire ritual, you can send me pictures of the egg and I'll translate them for you. Let me see. Jade, does the moon affect current pregnancy? The moon does affect pregnancy. There's actually aspects for fertility because the moon, Venus is in the sign of Taurus right now. So, and the moon's also in the sign of Taurus. And right now, Venus entered the sign of Taurus, so it's at like almost 1 degree. But the moon is about to exit, and it's aspecting Pluto by a trine, and Pluto rules the 8th house of pregnancy. The 5th and the 8th house are associated with pregnancy. So today, tomorrow are really good things, but it's actually really individualized to your chart. I would look to see where your 5th house ruler is, who rules your 5th house and who rules your 8th house, and you can really see when you're fertile. Another thing is, this is a trick that I actually learned from one of my friends a long time ago, that if we, as women, if we want to balance our hormones and balance like our body and our systems in the body, we have to moon gaze. So I posted a blog on my website about moon gazing. And when you start moon gazing, because you don't have to necessarily just moon gaze when it's a full moon. A lot of people just do it on a full moon. You could actually go every single night and look at the moon, and it doesn't have to take you a long time, like 2-3 minutes. It's kind of like meditating with the moon. You moon gaze, you start actually balancing your rhythms, your cycles with the moon. And from there, you can become more fertile. So this is something that one of my friends taught me. Honestly, I never used it because when I started connecting to the moon without me even knowing, I became pregnant. So I had a few miscarriages, and then I kind of had given up on having kids. I thought I was never going to be able to have kids, but I started doing all my astrology practices and things like that, and I did set intentions to get pregnant. The thing is that I kind of didn't set intentions on the when I wanted to. I just said I want to get pregnant, so it just happened whenever it aligned for me. And as soon as I started aligning with the moon, but I did it for other purposes, I did it to align with my intuition, I became pregnant. So out of nowhere, pregnant. Okay. Oh, yeah, that's good. Your cycle matches the moon. It's cool and weird at the same time. Actually, that's really good. We're technically are supposed to be um in flow with the moon as feminine energy. Okay, let me look at this comment. I store I stare at the moon all the time. Ooh, yes. Yes. Okay, I'm going to have to try this. I have been trying to conceive, but I have hormone issues. Yes. Okay, please, please, please let me know if you are successful. I'm actually wishing you the best, and I really, really hope that you're able to conceive and you're able to get this wish granted and you're able to bring your body into harmony. I really, really hope. Being a mother is one of the best things that happened to me, and anyone that wants to be a mother should want to. There's people that don't, and but you want to be a mother, so you should be granted that gift. I really, really hope that this comes true for you very soon and that your body is balanced so you're able to have this baby. But let me know how that works. Start aligning with the moon. This is a perfect time to start because the moon is being born. So whenever you do want to start anything like that, you follow the cycle. I would always start moon gazing either at the new moon when it's born or the full moon. But for you, because you want to gain something, you want to start the new moon because the moon starts growing and then it goes into full fertile aspect when it's full, and then from there it starts disseminating. But you then match it to the ovulation cycle, right? So you're matching this moon like it's the egg and it's going, and then when it's full, that's when you are able to conceive. And then when the egg is so when the moon is actually disseminating, the egg is being fertilized. So you're imagining yourself doing that. Let's see if that works. I really, really hope for you that everything works out. I love the moon. If you guys see my logo, I have my logo and the moon in the back. The moon for me is very, very powerful. Okay. Yes, glad I am aware. Yes, yes. Okay. Yay. Awesome. So I was just checking my phone because, like I mentioned, I'm using a new platform and I'm not sure if the comments are like a little delayed or not. Making sure I'm answering your comments. Great. I have always felt a strong connection to the moon too. Ooh, what's your moon sign? And what house is your moon in? So overall, ladies and gentlemen, the energy this week is pretty good, pretty supportive. We are going to start slowing our roll, putting some breaks in our steps, but it's okay. It's all about now maintaining things. Let me see. I used to drag my sibling outside when we were young to got them to look at they were never as excited about it as me. Okay, that actually that's good that you are attuning to the moon being a Capricorn moon, because what house do you have this Capricorn moon? Because usually the people that have Capricorn moon, because the moon is in, okay, so I'm not sure what house. Okay, what's your ascendant? Do you know your ascendant? So I have Jupiter in Capricorn, and that's not a placement that's preferred by Jupiter. So it's considered to be in fall. And that means my Jupiter works really, really hard. That's similar to the moon being in Capricorn. So not that the aspect is the same. No, the moon does not really enjoy the sign of Capricorn because now she's not able to be nurturing. She's more business oriented, more practical, where the moon in Cancer is more sensitive and like crying and embracing all these feelings and getting moody. So it's a total different energy. Pisces. Okay, so Capricorn rules your 11th house. Oh, that's good. That's why, because you're curious. Being in the 11th house, the moon is curious to connect and yeah. So that's a good, at least it's placed in a good house that the moon is able to connect and be curious of the surroundings, because the 11th house is like the outside networks in the community. So the third house rules community too, but 11 more on a grandiose level, like large networks, online platforms, organization like charities, technology. So the moon being there makes you curious about world matters in a way. So that's good. And the universal world matters. What is that? The moon cycles and the stars and astrology. So it works really well there. But typically the moon being in Capricorn is not like the easiest placement. So you moon gazing is the best thing you can do because you are now helping your moon. So you're like letting your moon know, I know it's in Capricorn. I know I can be a little bit more practical, more business oriented, but let's moon gaze to kind of make this more sensual, make this more nurturing, and you kind of start attuning. So whatever planets we have in detriment, we always kind of want to use the element that supports that planet so we can help it. It's like helping it, like giving it a boost. So that's great that you moon gaze. Yeah. My moon is in Cancer. Yeah, see, the moon in Cancer is a little different. So the moon rules Cancer. So it's a little bit more sensual, more nurturing, like more mother energy. Even if you're not a mother, you just tend to kind of like all the people that are family and friends, you tend to like bring them in and protect them. And it's like the claws, right? Like anything says anything about them. But inside you're a softie. You just like family time. You want to enjoy the time that you have and the people that you're with and things like that. So it's a really good moon. It's in a sign that it rules. Yeah, a Scorpio. The Scorpio moon is another moon that's a little bit harder. So I would moon gaze. Since you're a Scorpio moon, I would moon gaze, and the Aquarius moon too. That's another one. It's not as hard, but the Aquarius moon, that's another sign that the moon doesn't like really. Like the moon actually out of all the planets is one of the most friendliest to all the signs. There's other planets that really don't like certain energies and they'll act really, really bad in people's chart. The moon is kind of neutral in the places we say it's bad. Um, so don't like take that to heart and be like, oh, like my moon's in Scorpio or my moon's in Capricorn. I have a moon in Virgo, so it's very practical. My son has a moon in Aquarius. My husband has a moon in Capricorn. And my other son has a moon in Virgo. So lots of earth, and then we have some air. So we all moon gaze here to kind of balance our systems. So if you have a really strong moon, you can moon gaze too, but you already kind of have that internal charge. You're going to be curious about the moon. People that are Cancer, Pisces, all the water signs, even Scorpio, they're very, very curious about the moon. So as a Scorpio, again, it takes a little bit of the energy of Cancer, but to a next level, like a little bit more intense. You're still very loyal, very protective to the people that you love, but you can also get hurt. And when you do get hurt, you protect yourself really, really well. And when we're in the shadow side of any type of energy, especially with Scorpio, I have a lot of planets in Scorpio, but when we're in the shadow of Scorpio, we kind of tend to protect ourselves a little more than we should because we've been hurt. So that's the only thing with that moon in Scorpio that you just have to learn to kind of release. I have Mars in Scorpio, Saturn in Scorpio, Pluto in Scorpio. So, and they're on my fourth house. So I know what Scorpio energy is. It brought a lot of trauma and abuse in my early life, my early childhood. But learning to release is what really helped me and broke down some barriers, because the moon in Scorpio builds barriers of protection. Moon gazing will be really, really good for you. Yeah, Scorpio Sun. Same thing. That's energy of Scorpio. It likes to be protective. I think the only time that it could be a little harmful is that sometimes we carry hurt that other people got over, but we don't forget it, because Scorpio energy remembers. It remembers a lot. So that's one of the biggest challenges. You'll say, like, or you'll think, oh, you did this to me, but you're out there enjoying your life. So that's one of the biggest challenges of that Scorpio energy. So yeah, just kind of learn, like, what's the lesson behind this? And Scorpio likes digging deep into shit. It's a researcher sign. It goes into the muddy waters and it finds the key. It also rules the occult. It rules secrets. It rules the things that are unknown, the paranormal. Why? Because people are curious. They want to know this stuff. So they'll dig deep into it. It just and it gives you transformational energy. It's always represented by the phoenix rising from the ashes. So yes, you were being burnt at some time, but you rose from the ashes and you came out stronger than ever. So it has a lot of regenerating energy. But as the moon, I think it just kind of messes with your emotions a little. So just mastering that. I have a lot of friends that have Scorpio moon. Yeah. How do you feel about Ophiuchus? I honestly resonate with both Scorpio and Sagittarius. So the ancients knew that there was more constellations, but that's not a constellation that was appointed to it. So I don't really entertain it. Honestly, if you feel like Scorpio and Sagittarius apply to you, you probably have some planets in Sagittarius, because the sun, if you have your sun in Scorpio, Venus and Mercury travel really close to the sun. So you could have Venus in Sagittarius or Mercury in Sagittarius, vice versa. So you'll end up having some Sagittarius traits because you have some placements there. But there's a lot of other constellations. Like the moon actually has a different orbit, and it follows the lunar mansions, and the lunar mansions are different constellations in the sky. So there's thousands of constellations in the sky, but the actual zodiacal strip, which we call the ecliptic, that's where the 12 constellations align, and it was created with the seasons. So I don't really entertain it. I mean, I read it, I see it all the time. As a little girl, this got published, and I'm 36. So I first got introduced to this, I think around 11. And, I said, oh, okay, so maybe this changes things. But, they kind of do it to disprove astrology. They throw it out there, but none of the systems honor it because it wasn't built on that. So it's an overlaying constellation that kind of goes through the sign of Scorpio. It's very large. Most of the constellations are not 30 degrees long, like how we have the zodiac signs. Some are smaller, like the constellation of Aries is smaller, the constellation of Cancer is smaller, but Scorpio's pretty large, Virgo's pretty large. They kind of overlap each other, but sometimes in medieval age, they narrowed down the energy to 30 degrees to make everything even. So, yeah, it's interesting. Do you feel, let me see, Sag, Sun, Jupiter, Uranus, and Neptune in Scorpio. See, that's why. So that's why you're going to feel both, because you have a Sagittarius Sun, and then your Jupiter, Uranus, and Neptune are in Scorpio. So we are all our planets within us. Like with me, I'm a Leo rising. I have a Sun in Pisces, and I have my Moon in Virgo. So actually, and then you tie in the houses, the house that it's in. And that you're going to feel that energy too in the ruler. So my sun is in the ninth house of Sagittarius, and all of my life, I'm very different from my siblings. I've always asked my mom the deepest questions. Why were we here? Why are we born? Where is God? How come I can't see him? Is God in the sun? Like over and over and over and over. And it's this like ever ending, like never ending, I mean, curiosity to life and finding answers and being open to different cultures and just kind of over consuming things. Like I love to learn a lot of things, connect with a lot of people, and that's all Sagittarius energy. But I'm like, wait, I don't have my sun in Sagittarius. I have my sun in Pisces, but my sun is in the ninth house, and that's a Sagittarius house. So it takes flavor of that energy, my sun. And it's still Pisces energy. So I'm very spiritual. I'm very mystical. I like magic. I like astrology. So you have to tie in all the aspects of the chart. We're not just the sun. We're not just the planets. We're also where they fall, how they aspect each other, which is like I always say, holding hands. So that's kind of why I'm excited about my mentoring group, because I'm going to be able to mentor people so they can better flow with their interpretation of their own chart. And maybe if they're looking to be professional astrologers, then they develop their style, because it's all about intuition. Like first you have to learn the knowledge, but once you have it all in your noggin, how is it that it's flowing out? Like what are the downloads you're getting when you look at the chart and it's like communicating and you see the sun here and the moon there? Like how are you doing the consultation? So yeah, I'm so looking forward to it. Just like I have Ascendant Aquarius beside Sun in the 11th house. Exactly. That's another thing. So it's taking a double, like another energy of your sun of Aquarius. It's like an underlined energy. Take like a pizza, right? We have a pizza and the crust is going to be the same. So the crust is always going to be the zodiac signs in natural order. Aries is the first house. Taurus is the second house. Like that. From there, we add the sauce. So there's 12 sauces. What sauce did you want? Okay, you're adding the sauce that starts with, for Aquarius. Okay, let's spread it all over. So then it starts the layout of your houses. And then we have the cheese, which is how the planets are spread out. And then after that, we have the toppings, which is how they're connecting to each other. So then from there, we slice the pie, and that's how we're slicing and creating the house cusps. So think about it like that, like a pizza. Sorry if that's confusing to some. Okay, cool. Well, thank you guys for being here. I've been on for almost an hour. Oh, over an hour. I really enjoy doing these lives. I will be on, oh, I'm sorry. I will be on next Wednesday around 6 p.m. If you guys follow me, you know that I post on this. If you don't follow me, then follow me. Click like and subscribe wherever you're watching this. Thank you so much. Sending lots of abundance. Make sure you guys go outside and moon gaze. And I really thank you guys for being here. Thank you so much. Bye.